What is up, diecast collectors? This is OBB, the diecast news guy here, and welcome everybody to a very special 2023 NASCAR diecast review provided by my one and only good friends at Circle B Diecast. So go ahead and make sure to use that promo code OBBYT to give you guys yourselves $6 off of shipping, and you can also order this diecast right now because today we will be reviewing the one and only Jimmie Johnson's grand return in the NASCAR Cup Series as 2023 Carvana Chevrolet Camaro for the NASCAR Cup Series and the newly rebranded Legacy Motor Club, formerly known as Petty GMS. But even though that was a mouthful to say, I mean, heck, it has been a while since we have had a Jimmie Johnson NASCAR diecast come out in the market, and wow, this was such a great return, man, and I actually had the pleasure of actually seeing this car in person, because you guys know, this year was my second Daytona 500, but we'll go on to many more as we're going to start off the unboxing and official diecast review of the Jimmie Johnson 2023 Carvana car. And alrighty, you bunch of Jimmie fans, we got this diecast out of his box, and yeah, decided to do a little Michael Marutz shout out right there, but yeah, we got ourselves the Jimmie Johnson 2023 Carvana diecast. I know this was one that was very popular when they made the announcement. I mean, I'm kind of glad that this car came out because you guys do remember they also made a Legacy Motor Club announcement car, which, don't get me wrong, that car does look nice with the gold and the black and brownish that car has, or tan, I believe, but just, yeah, I prefer my Jimmie colors, especially if it's blue and yellow. I mean, you know that's a good-looking Jimmie Johnson car when it has those two colors, and I will say that this has the similar color scheme to his debut IndyCar in 2021, guys, which we'll begin to in a second, guys, because, heck, you guys know me, I have collected IndyCar and NASCAR diecast, but we got to get onto this car, because this is just, well, car for Carvana, am I right? I mean, literally, it looks like the car is literally heading up to heaven with that damn halo, but no, that's just their logos. But Carvana, yeah, they're basically like the car vending machine, but I've been hearing a lot of skepty shit. Yeah, that does make sense. Skeptical stuff, if you know what I mean. But this is probably, I would say, a really cool livery, guys, because as you guys can see, yeah, we do have the yellow number, which is pretty iconic for number 84, and I didn't realize that placement of the logo is very tilted and cockeyed, so I guess someone at the Yale factory for Lionel, I guess, decided to print it sideways, because sideways is the new coolest shit, even though it looks like, I mean, people do not know what OCD is, because look at that right there clearly is not in the right placement, and there's a paint chip too. Wow. Should I be really complaining about a diecast at $12? Probably. I should. But we see we got these nice gunmetal rims, and we got this just beautiful different shades of just blue and white. But I think the one thing that really stands out about this car is the metallic gold. And all the Legacy Motor Club diecasts will have this. I mean, if you guys didn't saw the other two I picked up, like the Noah Gragson Sunseeker and Wendy's cars, so stay tuned for those diecasts. But this is, I guess you could say, is the entree or appetizer of what's to come. But we got a nice little loose window right there, but you can see right here, this paint scheme definitely is kind of all over the place in terms of like where the black is, but like it kind of blends in well. I'd say this paint scheme is a lot more better than some of the other Carvana schemes that have been released for the Cup Series. But yeah, it has now unfortunately been a bright year for Jimmie Johnson, guys. I mean, we all know what happened at Chicago, and unfortunately, he was not able to run that street course race. He was planning to run, I think, what, like a few races this year, but Chicago was one of them. But due to, you know, the unfortunate circumstances that happened relating to Jimmie Johnson's family, unfortunately, he withdrew from that race, which is a shame because you know, he has had some really bad luck, all right? Besides, you know, I mean, the only good thing I will say about Jimmie Johnson returning, the 7-time champion and the 2-time Daytona 500 champion, it was awesome, okay? As you guys remember, I was here during Speed Week, all right? I want to say Speed Weeks, but there's no such thing as that anymore. When I was here for the duels and Jimmie Johnson and Travis Toronto were trying to get their ways into the qualifying sessions for the duels, let me tell you what, the crowd, I think, absolutely erupted when they heard Jimmie Johnson was going to make an end to the Daytona 500. So that already right there kind of drew in that sold-out attendance because, you know, it's the Jimmie Johnson effect, man. I mean, heck, he has such a big fan base, man, and I have nothing but respect for all the Jimmie fans out there. You know, I used to be a Jimmie Johnson hater, but who didn't besides the Jimmie Johnson lovers? But god dang, man, I've already met this guy like a good handful of times now, and he's just nothing but a class act, man. And he is going to be nominated for a Hall of Famer coming up for the next year for the class of 2024. So freaking awesome, dude. But it was so cool to see Jimmie Johnson race in his stock car again. I mean, back to what he does best. I mean, you know, those 2 years that he did in IndyCar, which we'll get into in a second, yeah, they weren't really memorable, but we did got some cool die casts, which I will be showing you guys, like I promised, a side-by-side comparison of the Carvana car from 2021, which I will say this is the best side-by-side comparison you'll get. As you guys know, I mean, this is where after Jimmie Johnson retired in NASCAR at the end of 2020, he went on to drive for Chip Ganassi Racing in the number 48 Carvana car. And, yeah, you know, it didn't really go out too well for him, but, you know, he at least gave it a shot, and that's when I was able to meet him, guys. So, my opinion on him has definitely changed. He's just nothing but a class act, man, but this is probably the best. First of all, if you guys did not, unfortunately, got this car from 2021, good luck. I mean, I don't know how rare it is now, but definitely will be a great piece to go along with. Like I said, shout out to all my Jimmie Johnson fans who are watching. You know who you are. I can name all of them on top of my forehead, but heck, you know, don't want to make this a 20-minute diecast review, so. But just, dang, dude, this is so cool, man. I mean, like I said, this is the best representation of the 2021 scheme in terms of that. Besides the gold, but still is nice. And just to showcase off all the other Jimmie Johnson diecasts I have, here's his blue steel car from 2021. See, there's some reminiscence of it. I mean, I think that I would have loved a blue steel. Can we, if Jimmie Johnson decides to run again in the Cup Series, can we get a Carvana blue steel car? Because, god dang, that would look so nice. I mean, heck, fun fact, I actually told Jimmie Johnson that was my favorite livery, and he says, yeah, that's a cool one, so. And then we also got the, I would say the downgrade of Jimmie Johnson's final year in IndyCar, which was in 2022. And the logos are kind of screwed up, but this is the free promo that I got from Carvana. So definitely, if you guys already picked up all three of the Carvana diecasts from 2021 and 2022, then this is a no-brainer. Absolute no-brainer. And it might be the only Jimmie Johnson diecast that we're going to get, unless it gets saved in NASCAR Authentics. But all of his other diecasts, that I think, like his Win Rewards, patriotic card, that let's not talk about the Coca-Cola 600 for the Legacy Motor Club. God dang, I feel sorry for anybody who was a Eric Jones, Noah Gragson, or even a Jimmie Johnson fan. That was one of the worst races for a team I've ever seen. And I thought Stuart Haas was bad, but yeah, I mean, maybe it is a good thing that they're going to Toyota next year. Like, don't get me wrong, I know Toyota has a bad rep and like ruining a lot of teams and drivers, but you know, this team, man, I mean, is regressing. It is just regressing. I mean, of course, you know, having a new co-owner like Jimmie Johnson coming into the picture, definitely you're going to see some unfortunate circumstances, but this has just been nothing but a disaster. But like I said, the hype around Jimmie Johnson returning, and if you guys even saw that Carvana commercial that he was with you know, another Hall of Famer and another co-owner in NASCAR, GF Gordon. So, yeah, it just felt great, man. It just felt natural. It felt like a little bit of that old NASCAR was just coming back, seeing Jimmie Johnson come and return. And, you know, like I said, you know, he actually ran pretty well in this car at the Daytona 500. It wasn't until we got into that one of those late race cautions that caused an overtime for the second time, I believe. That's when Jimmie Johnson got into that wreck, because I think he was, like, somewhere around, like, top 10 or 15, if I'm not mistaken. So Johnson probably could have had a shot to get his third 500, but it's unfortunate what happened. But heck, this will still be a great diecast to pick up. I am definitely guessing we're going to see this car in NASCAR Authentics, because come on, dude, it's Jimmie Johnson. Everyone knows who this guy is, even the new fans who are watching. But feel free to comment below what you guys to share about this, as yeah, this is going to wrap up the diecast review of the Jimmie Johnson's 2023 Carvana Chevrolet Camaro for the NASCAR Cup Series and the Legacy Motor Club, or LMC. Again, that sounds like a really bad generic rap name, but but anyways, guys, this has been OBB, the Diecast News Guy. I'll see you guys next time on another Diecast review, and just Jimmie!